Welcome to the Armstrong house. It's a pleasure to have everybody here as we walk through this great establishment. Now, I should point this out. When Louis Armstrong was a child, he grew up with absolutely nothing. And by the time he moved here, he was a star. He was known like all over the world. He had changed music probably about 3 or 4 times at this point. But as a child, the people who didn't have anything, but who had a job, were the people who had made it in his thinking. So his peers were Frank Sinatra, Nat King Cole, like all these huge like pop stars. But when he moved here, he felt like he had made it because his neighbors were regular working folks. So towards the end of his life, he was on first name basis with Princess Grace. But his next door neighbor was a telephone operator. So you can see just the kind of worlds that he was kind of juggling and the kind of work ethic that was kind of inherent in his whole experience. He stayed on the road about 300 days a year. And he did that for the entirety of his adulthood, from the 20s to the late 60s. So just the idea that there's 300 days worth of gigs a year is amazing, right? But then, like if you do the math, like somebody who's got like a regular full-time job, if they work 5 days a week and 2 weeks off for vacation, that's barely 200 and some odd days a year. And they're retiring at 60. This guy was doing this on the road to the very end. And I think that's a huge part of not only his appeal, but the importance of just the whole world, and particularly the jazz community. They need to come here to see how important Louis was, because every dime you make playing jazz, half of that you owe Louis Armstrong.
Let's go in.
So let's head inside.
We're going to take a percentage out of your check today.
That's fine by me.
But that's like an historic landmark plaque.
here, it's kind of the vestibule area, but let's head right into the living room. Right. So now you've played this piano before. Go ahead.
My favorite.
Yeah.
Now we all know Emmet is real comfortable playing in living rooms.
Right.
Very comfortable with that.
Yeah.
Let's just get the crew here.
Yeah, right.
A natural environment.
A430. All right. So yes, this is the Armstrong's living room. Now this room is not the room Louis saw when he moved here. This room went through many changes over the years. He would travel and come home, the house would look different every time he came home. Like his wife was always making changes, particularly after the mother-in-law passed away. Now, when he moved here in 1943, the most famous guy in the world was living in these little rooms in his 40s with his mother-in-law upstairs. And then when his mother-in-law passed away, that's when the Armstrongs moved upstairs and this kind of became like their showcase room. So you'll see evidence of his travels. You'll see gondolas from Venice and different African head busts, dolls from Japan. So Louis performed in pretty much every major country of the world except for the Soviet Union, mainland China, in India, right? In India.
There was a hoax that he performed in India.
Right.
Many people still believe it, but
Right.
it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I've made it to all three of those places for him. So.
okay, there you go. All right. Yeah, so
Wow, that's amazing.
But you know, at the height of his fame was also the height of the Cold War. So he was performing in areas of the world that were politically just unstable.
Yeah. How did he feel about going to a place that was politically unstable, or perhaps even dangerous?
He didn't care.
Yeah.
He didn't care.
Why?
Because he was a global ambassador. This is a huge thing for me because Louis never played music just for like the initiated, you know, or he never created like a niche audience. So he took this incredible, it was beyond a gift, and he shared it with the world. And you know, his knowledge of and ability of melody. Melody wasn't just a bunch of notes that you string together and play the right notes. Like everything, I mean, I don't have to tell you guys this, but you know. And he was the epitome of that. And, you know, some of his recordings, like Ellen Lewis, these are like benchmarks. You know, there's like Ellen Lewis and then everything else. When you think about, like he owned those songs once he performed them. But he took like this great gift, he shared it with the world.
Yeah, and just to add, like, not just with the world, like when he used to play in the Roxy's, for instance, he would just save the first 2 rows for kids from the neighborhood.
Right.
So, like, right from where he lived, he wanted his music to reach everywhere.
So he was thinking about the people.
Yeah, the people. Yeah.
I mean, if you look around, this is a working man's house. So he saw himself as a working man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, Emmet, I've been on the road with you. We've been many places playing, and you know, when I think about Louis Armstrong, one of my favorite attributes is I think he is the epitome of an ambassador in this music.
Right.
And you know, we strive to be excellent players, but I think it is equally as important to be warm, caring, and connect with the people. And I've seen you do that. Has Louis had an influence on you in that way?
Definitely. You know, especially nowadays, you find that musicians, if they feel something, they play the emotion of what they're feeling. But Louis Armstrong, he would feel something, and it would turn all up in his body and his mind and his brain, and it would come out as joy. And you would feel, no matter what pain and sorrow and suffering he was feeling, that it would just come out and make people around him feel better. And that, I think, it has a lot to do with the people, because that's really connecting with who's around you. You want to make people feel good, and he always made people feel good.
the marvelous Joe Farnsworth on the drums. And Yasushi Nakamura on bass.
All right, let's check out the bathroom.
How ornate.
Or that's what you call it?
Golds.
Yeah. You know, it's funny, you know, like 'cause when we stand outside and we're like, Lewis was a man of the people. And he lived with the, you know, he sent kids to college on the block. And then, you know, and he's living in this little home. And then we're like, but then there's the bathroom, you know. This room is so different than the rest of the house.
Yeah.
Marble floors, ceilings, mirrors everywhere. Gold, the pipes are gold plated. And show them the picture. There used to be, this was in a magazine article called How the Other Half Bathes.
Oh, wow.
Time magazine.
Yeah.
How the other half babes.
Yeah, we have that bathrobe downstairs. And if you look closely, he's very ill at this point.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's kind of holding himself up. But he got wind of this article, and he made sure that he got in there. But Steve Jordan, he said this. He said that, you know, when you're traveling all the time, the thing that you wake up in different countries every other day, he says the one thing you remember are the bathrooms. Like that's and so this really looks more like the road, like what he's used to seeing, than in somebody's house. But, you know, when you're on the road 300 days a year, the road is your home.
Yeah.
This was a pit stop for most of his life.
And hadn't he even documented like points when the band wasn't allowed to use the restroom they were playing at?
Depending on where they were.
Where they were, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And then he puts down in his contract that I'll only play where I'm allowed to stay.
Yeah.
Right.
So so it's like
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he didn't have a bathroom as a child.
yeah, exactly.
He didn't have, so, you know, like he's Louis Armstrong. Like he's allowed to have, you know, like we totally get it. Maybe he promised himself to have a fancy bathroom. But it really stands out in this house, like the bathroom, because you know, if somebody didn't see it in context, then it would seem over the top. But then you're just like, you know, if you have one little bit of luxury in your life, and he makes it into the bathroom, that's telling you he has like a different aspect of his life that he's really. Shut up. And the tape is rolling. But yeah, that's, you know, another thing is the entire house is wallpapered.
Yeah.
Everything. Inside cabinets, in drawers, yeah.
I can't really shut it, but if I were to shut this door, it'd be wallpapered on the outside, like Star Trek, and inside would be mirrored. And Lucille always wanted a bigger house. She bought this as a startup home, and Louis refused to leave. You know, and so she would put down payments on bigger homes, and you know, we have one of his letters to her, and it says, "I'm staying put." He says, "I'm staying right there with the Jews and the Puerto Ricans." So no matter how the neighborhood was changing, which in Queens is like every generation, he didn't care. So a lot of this was really to placate her upward mobility, and his main concern was working. He was a workaholic, you know. Workaholics, you know, that's as long as she was happy, then he was cool.
I know how that is.
Yeah.
You staying at Edgecombe for a while?
Yeah.
Stay in Harlem?
It's hard to leave.
Can't leave.
It's hard to leave.
You made some history over there.
Yeah. I'm staying put.
I just found joy. I'm as happy as a baby boy with another brand new choo-choo toy. Since I met my sweet Wayne, he's got a pair of eyes that are brighter than the summer skies. When you see them, you will realize why I love my sweet Dwayne. Now, when the sun is cloudy, I don't miss the sun, because it's in my sweetheart's smile. And to think that I'm the lucky one met my sweet Dwayne. Oh, he's got a pair of eyes that are brighter than the summer skies. When you see them, you will realize why I love my sweet Dwayne. Now, when the day is cloudy, I don't miss the sun, because it's in my sweetheart's smile. And to think that I'm the lucky one, yeah, that will lead him down the aisle. Each night I pray that no one can steal his love away. I can't wait until that lucky day when I marry sweet Dwayne. I can't wait until that lucky day. I can't wait until that lucky day. I can't wait until that lucky day when I marry sweet Dwayne.
This whole room has a different thematic altogether. It has a very Southeast Asian, South Asian vibe going on. And I thought it was pretty popular back then to have this kind of aesthetics too. But I must add here that Louis didn't get to see parts of the room the way we're seeing it today, because 1977, Lucille added those Chinese fox panels, changed the chest to match it, very patterned right there. But he did spend a lot of time, whenever he was home, he loved a home-cooked meal.
Yeah.
And
Don't
we
we
have
all?
like a really beautiful picture of Louis having one of his favorite meals. I mean, I'm sure you know, it's red beans and rice.
That's right.
Right there. And I must add here that Louis, we do have recordings of Louis speaking to his friends and families about what's going on in society. So I always like to honor the dining room in the sense of Louis's contribution also to the civil rights movement. And especially in 1957, during the Little Rock incident in Arkansas, he really was vocal about it. He wrote to the president. He even gave a TV report a newspaper article report saying that the country can go to hell if it's not going to abide by its constitution.
Yeah.
So Louis was concerned about what was going on in society too, and I like to honor that in the dining room. But that said, a few things just, that also piques people's interest is this painting right here. It's a Chinese painting, very typical of the kind of fading out landscape, which gives it that ethereal look, right? But what translates in the text is, paradise on earth. And it's a really beautiful, roughly I think it translates to why look up for angels when paradise is on earth.
I got you.
We had one of people tell us that, and it's really beautiful, a painting of dancers and musicians that kind of encapsulates the house. But yeah, I think this dining room for me is really about those stories, and I always wonder what conversations would have happened here.
Yeah.
When you're smiling, the whole world smiles with you. When you're laughing, the sun comes shining through. But when you're frowning, it brings out the rain. So stop your frowning. Be happy again when you're smiling. When you're smiling, the whole world smiles with you. When you're smiling, when you're smiling.
house, Joy Brown.
So the kitchen, some people come to this house just to see this kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a very historic kitchen. It kind of captures the mid-60s, kind of that window between like the jet age and the space age. And this room was very influenced by the World's Fair, which was 2 subway stops from here, the 64, 65 World's Fair. There was an exhibit called The World of Tomorrow, and they had a kitchen very similar to this. And so, again, you know, it's funny because when a lot of people who are incredibly misinformed, they think that Louis was like this old guy with banjos and tuxedos, and nothing could be further than the truth. He was fascinated by technology and futurism, and you know, so for him to have like this George Jetson kind of kitchen in the 60s goes against the grain of thinking. He was really ahead of the ball game. So you'll see like the blenders built right into the countertop. You know, the can opener is built right in. Here's a 6-burner stove, 2 broilers, 2 ovens. It says custom made by,
Check it out. It's right
said
there.
by Mr. and Mrs. Louis Armstrong.
Wow. Was he cooking too?
He used to cook a little bit. We have some of
Yeah.
his recipes there.
Really?
Yeah, they're right. We rotate them. I think, which one is up there? I think it's the.
I haven't gone through those actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got the chicken confetti over here.
Betty Crocker stuff.
Yeah. That's a lot of salt.
Yeah. I know.
And some of them were written cards too.
Some of them written. Yeah.
Yeah.
The hand. You see it.
Yeah.
So
Did Lucille have a signature dish?
Red beans and rice.
I don't know if that was. I don't know if she had a signature dish.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But I know that she did. The first time he visited her home, she cooked red beans and rice for him.
Oh, well, that was part of
Kind
that
of
was
impressed.
part that was part of the part of the deal with the engagement. Like, do you know how to make red beans and rice?
What's your favorite meal?
My favorite meal?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Put me on the spot.
No, you have to say red beans and rice.
I don't know, man.
Are you vegetarian?
Almost. I eat chicken and fish.
Okay.
I eat pretty clean and healthy, so I'm not the most
Yeah. Everybody who plays jazz now does yoga
yeah.
and is a
yeah.
vegetarian.
You know,
It's crazy. Like, what happened?
you know, I
generation.
do like going to Europe and getting a nice fresh piece of fish.
Yeah.
You know, something from the Mediterranean, anything Greek or
When you went to
Italian.
India, did you eat something?
I
that you
love the
remember?
food. I love the
Yeah.
food. And, you know, we actually went over Thanksgiving.
Oh.
So we had Thanksgiving in India
Oh, yeah,
with the
yeah.
band.
Oh, okay.
And so we ordered everything and just really enjoyed everything they had to offer.
You
there.
in the south or the north of
We were just in Mumbai.
Mumbai? Okay,
Yeah.
central.
One of the most stunning things in this room are the cabinets. And you want to guess what these cabinets are made out of? Oh, you probably know already.
Aluminum?
They're wood. These are wooden
Wood,
cabinets.
Yeah.
And it's a piano finish,
That's right.
piano lid handles,
Wow.
piano door
Do they
hinges.
open?
Open this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all right. Like
This one?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Everything is original.
Feels like
Everything's
opening a
theirs.
piano.
Right.
Right,
Exactly.
yeah.
And it's kind of shaped like a futuristic grand piano.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you think about it.
I see it.
Yeah. And Lucille had a Cadillac the same color as this. So, you know, again, the clock, the Cadillac, the cabinets, and also the refrigerator. Like, it's all kind of color coded.
Summer time and the living is easy. Fish are jumping and the cotton is high. Oh, your ma is good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you one of these mornings, you're gonna rise up singing. Then you'll spread your wings and you'll take to the sky. But till that morning, there ain't nothing can harm you. With mommy and daddy And Daddy,
Alrighty, so like Sharani was saying, like the second floor, this is a little more personal. You want your guests to see your fancy kitchen and bathroom, but now this is kind of like the Armstrongs' personal space. And I always say this, when you go to Elvis's house, you don't see the second floor, man. Mm-hmm. They keep you, but here you get a feeling of like how they were when they were just amongst themselves. Yeah. Again, the wallpaper, like right through the vertical blinds. And this area originally was a dining room, a second floor dining room, and this was a bathroom. Louis came home, no longer a bathroom. Now she's got, if she couldn't move out, then they moved up. So now they have a bigger experience. This area evolved into her prayer nook. She was a Catholic, and her church is right around the corner, Our Lady of Sorrows. Mm-hmm. I should also point out right around the corner was Dizzy Gillespie used to live right around the corner. Yeah. And Dizzy's wife went to the same church. Dizzy and Louis used to play cards in the basement. Yeah, wow. Yeah, they used to play cards. Lucille, according to Selma, Lucille didn't let Dizzy into the den. She said the two of them together made way too much noise, you know. And so like these two legends, you know, these people who have changed the world. Like they're stuck in the basement playing poker or something like that. You know, it's pretty insane. You know, another thing too is the relationship between Dizzy and Louis was profound. It started off earlier in Dizzy's career, you know, because Dizzy was he was a go-getter, and creating a career in jazz in the 40s was not the way it was of creating a career in the 20s, and so Louis and Dizzy were kind of like at ideological, like, you know, there was a big gulf between them, mm-hmm. And so they had kind of like a professional rivalry, and that went on for some years, and it was generational. And I feel like that was jazz's first real generational battle, and that happens every generation.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite videos that's on YouTube is of them playing Umbrella Man.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. But
I'm always trying to get Bruce to play it and sing it, and Bruce said, "I'm not singing.
I did it once.
You know, you're doing it today. You're doing it today.
You do have it in the Emmet Cohen.
You played it nice.
That's actually my favorite of all the videos.
Yeah.
Yes. You know, we're in the bedroom and there's a bed, so immediately you think about rest. And we go back to those clips of Lucille making this house happen without him really knowing it. And I think a lot of that is when you're a musician and you are dedicated to this lifestyle. You're on the road, you're spreading joy, you're making music. We don't think about rest.
Yeah.
No.
Where are you in terms of that place of your life? Is it time to rest a little bit? Or?
Well, I think I know because everyone comes to me and says, "When do you rest?
Right.
You know, when do you take a week off? When do you take a month off?" and when you're on a mission to bring the music to places and also to connect with other musicians, which I think is something that Louis Armstrong did really well. You know, the bonds that he created. One of my favorite piano players is Earl Hines. When you think about the relationship they have, you know, it reminds me of the relationship I have with you. Where, you know, we have a gig, we drop everything to do the gig. You know, you're always like that, I'm always like that. And it's because the music is important and it feeds us. And you know, it's important to take rest as well, but oftentimes, especially when things are planned far in advance, you know, okay, you've got this gig in 6 months from now. It's hard to imagine yourself resting in 6 months from now. Yeah. You say, no, I'm going to want to be doing that.
Right.
So, you know, you have to.
How old was he when he moved in here?
He was 42.
42, 43, yeah.
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 See, I'm 44.
And you just moved to
I'm ready
Queens.
for- yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You got a few more.
You all have been wonderful. Thank you. And thank you to this band. Wonderful. Well, I got a guy who lives up on the hill. Well, I got a guy who lives up on the hill. I know he mistreats me, but Lord, I love him still. He's got eyes like diamonds, they shine like Klondike gold. He's got eyes like diamonds, they shine like Klondike gold. Every time he looks at me, it soothes my mellow soul. Well, you so beautiful, but you gotta die someday. Well, you so beautiful, but you gotta die someday. Come over, let me love you before you pass away. Oh, bye, baby, bye. Bye, baby, bye. Oh, bye, bye, baby, bye. Why don't you come over, let me love you before you pass away?
Yeah, so the Den, this is where he did it. This is really the beginning of his archives. Here's another first. He was the first jazz musician to publish an autobiography.
Wow.
It was, some of it was written here. He did all of his recording here. He did all of his entertaining here. He kind of got like a visual arts bug, and he would make murals and artwork on this wall.
Wow.
And then when he would leave town, Lucille would rip it down, bam, because it was, she just thought it was unacceptable, a man of his age and stature doing this type of thing.
Yeah.
And so he started to put all of his artwork on these boxes where he stored his tapes.
No, like the green cover.
And they became not only artwork but historical documents because they're based off of telegrams and things. Mm-hmm. Here's a facsimile of his last tape, where he said he's not really ready to die yet, and he's feeling better, which didn't really happen. But everything we know about Louis comes from like him. So each one of these tapes, his favorite songs, interviews, solos, the Cavett Show, Martin Luther King's funeral. He put the microphone in front of the television with his own commentary. And when the tape was full, he would write Saul at the end. That's short for That's All.
Oh.
And so, you know, when you come to this house and our volunteers or our docents or our staff, they give you like these amazing tours. We just listen to the tapes.
Yeah.
That's it. You know, we're not brain surgeons. Now, Sharania, play this recording.
His thoughts about the
Yes.
I put it index. So I index all the numbers, give them a number. And then my Lucille fixed something I never had in my life before. She gave me a room and made a den out of it. You know what I mean? That really knocked me out because we couldn't afford no den, and never heard a day we better sleep in that room.
Now you just got a den.
Now I got a den. I can look at all my tapes around the walls and just pick out what I want to hear.
How does it feel?
Well, it's got to feel good. I mean, I don't ask much in life. I mean, those are the needed things. She know that would be my life in music. So when I can hear every record I ever made, all I got to do is look in a little book and put my finger on it. My interviews, I got them all on tape, and I buy records. That's why I tell you, I buy everybody's records and every interview I have. And every show I do, Ed Sullivan or Belton, whatever it is, it's a company that sends the whole show on tape at my house. And I index that. You know what I mean? I got the Beatles, I got everybody. And they say, well, what you think about the Beatles? I say, they're great. They got a little beat there, you know what I mean? And it's all right. And, okay, that's all right.
And only get a haircut.
You see, now we got to be not too partial to one kind of music. You got to appreciate all kind of music. That's what I'm trying to put in your head. Listen to all kind of music.
Yeah, just being in the house, it just fills you with so much history, fills you with so much hope, and connects you to the past and makes me ready for the future.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what it's about.
Well, thanks for being here. I think the idea of people coming in, honing it in is what makes this place alive.
Yeah.
You got to absorb the energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to be surrounded by it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the great Joy Brown. Joy Brown, ladies and gentlemen. The incredible Yasushi Nakamura on the bass. Yasushi Nakamura. The incomparable Joe Farnsworth on the drums. Joe Farnsworth. And the amazing, the legendary Emmet Cohen. Emmet Cohen on the piano.